It was just another bus tour. All in all, Roger, the driver of the big comfortable white tour bus, was feeling pretty good. Maria, the blonde Danish tour guide, was dependable. Her groups were never late for scheduled departure times. A pleasant group of people from English-speaking countries had come together for this Scandinavian tour. Except for 50-something couple who had left their Cayman Island farm in the hands of their adult children for the very first time, and a cheerful couple in their 30s enjoying their first holiday without the kids, they were mostly retired couples from Great Britain, United States and Canada. Two pairs stood apart from the rest. Linda, a native Bostonian, who was traveling with her son Barry, a Harvard PhD, and the elderly Helen, who traveled with her eldest daughter Caroline, a clerk from Colorado. At first, Roger couldn't quite understand what made this mother and daughter so alike in their looks, so dissimilar in their communication. They were both friendly and smiled a lot, but while Caroline grinned and bubbled, her mother hardly said a word. Roger soon discovered from Barry, who had learned it from Caroline, that every year one of Helen's 3 daughters takes her on a trip. The possibility that each trip would be her last was always in the background, as Helen suffered from progressive Alzheimer's. Yet she miraculously continued on year by year. Unable to recall what had happened 15 minutes before, Helen remembered her travels well, both pre- and post-disease, and loved dwelling on the memories. Barry's mother had recently divorced, and he was determined to help her overcome the depression she had sunk into since then. As Barry and Caroline each attended to their respective mother's needs, Roger noticed a special relationship blossoming between them. The 10-day trip from Sweden to Denmark through the Norwegian fjords was coming to an end. Having completed their visit to Frederiksborg Castle and Fredensborg Palace, symbols of Danish royal power, Roger took the group to Orestad, Copenhagen's most modern district, where they disembarked in front of impressive example of Scandinavian architecture. 2 giant glass and aluminium towers connected by an air bridge, the AC Hotel. Their final day was reserved for sightseeing in the capital, including everything from the Little Mermaid statue to the Rosenborg Castle gardens. But tonight they would enjoy a closing evening in the hotel lobby, which looked more like a elite lunch club with a nice interior and a relaxing music playing. As they stood around the bar ordering drinks, each of the guests extended their thanks to both tour guide and bus driver. Breaking with tradition, this time their tips were presented in separate envelopes with words of gratitude written on them. We usually get 1 thank you envelope, Roger said to Maria, who was sitting on the stool next to him. This is an unusual group, she answered. Indeed it was. Almost every family in the tour had invited both Roger and Maria to visit them at home, which was also quite unusual. Of course, we could never visit all of them, joked Maria, but Roger suggested they make it into a contest. Each of the potential hosts would give a pitch for their hometown, promoting its best qualities. What started as a party game turned into a serious event as the cheerful Grobeltortes began competing in earnest. Drinks in hand, a pair of retired doctors started things off by extolling the beaches of London. Both Maria and Roger had visited there a number of times for both business and pleasure, so they were eager to hear of other offers. Maria showed some interest in visiting the other British couple in Bristol, with the chance to see Bath, but Roger had often taken summer groups to that Roman city thanks to a seasonal contract he had signed with the London-based coach company. The Britain were followed by others to Quebec, Miami Beach, and the Cayman Islands. Two by two, the members of the group described their home cities and the countries, brought up photos of their homes and neighborhoods, introduced the others to their pets, mostly dogs and cats, but in the case of the family from Miami Beach it was an iguana. Much to everyone's surprise, the Cayman Islanders gave a short talk on their hobby of chicken breeding and revelated the reason for the island's tax-free status. As it happened, some relatives of King George III of Britain had suffered a shipwreck during the Great Storm at the end of the 18th century and were rescued by islanders. In gratitude, the king declared them exempt from paying taxes forevermore. When the Kiwis got their turn, they told the group about their beautiful home in Whangarei. Our spread is on the North Island, which is actually much warmer and more tropical than the South Island, said Mike, as his wife Anna struggled to open an application on her tablet. When she finally managed, she stood up to show everyone the screen. This is our house. There are 5 surveillance cameras we can watch live online. If you are lucky, you may even see our cat Jerry. He is Maine Coon, and he's really something. The name of this unusual breed sparked quite a lot of interest. People leaned forward to catch a glimpse of the extraordinary creation. The surveillance application switched among views from 5 cameras. The pale yellow facade of a charming 1920s bungalow flashed on screen for a few seconds, followed by a picture of well-groomed lawn with a number of ornamental shrubs, a state-of-art kitchen in steel and marble, a cozy cedar-walled bedroom, and a spacious living room in pale green and gold, where perched on the back of a plush corn sofa sat a bulky, pointy and long whiskered Maine Coon cat, staring wide-eyed at the slender, grey-haired man who was entirely naked and giving oral sex to a dark-haired beauty who more than lived up to Hollywood standards. The erotic scene appeared for only 3 seconds before it was replaced once again by the pale yellow facade. A soft wow escaped someone's lips as Mike continued to regale his audience with tidbits about the marvelous city of Whangarei. He went on about New Zealand's rugby stars and some famous artists who were born there, and the biggest celebrity of all, Laura Decker, the youngest sailor to make a solo trip around the world. Meanwhile, the application kept on displaying the live feed from each of the cameras in turn. The next time around, the astonished look in the cat's eyes was upstaged by the brunette, who now had climaxed and was subtly responding to the lips of the grey-haired man as he covered her body in lingering kisses. The surprised group members shifted in their seats and began exchanging glances and smiles. Still unaware that anything unusual was going on, Anna interrupted her husband again. Laura was born in a yurt in a Whangarei port while her parents were on a 7-year sailing tour around the world. It was this moment that Maria remembered her role as a group leader. The Deckers were a Dutch family, actually. Laura's parents later divorced, and the Dutch court hesitated to give her a permit to start her journey. I believe there was some custody concerns. Maria cleared her throat quietly and added, "Maybe we shouldn't be watching what's going on in your house right now?" Eager to continue his story, Mike rushed to turn the tablet Anna was holding, and they both looked at the small screen. A second later she cried out, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's just my father having a bit of fun. We asked him to feed Jerry. It seems that one thing he has forgotten about." Mike made a clumsy attempt to relieve his tension. What do you mean? Asked Hannah, uneasy about having to explain anything in front of these people she barely knew. Jerry wouldn't have that look in his eyes unless he's hungry. I know him. This is nothing. He's seen much worse, hasn't he, darling? Anna nodded, but she had something else on her mind. Should I call Mom and tell her everything now, or maybe when we get back? You don't have to say anything, Mike assured her, keeping his eyes on screen. It may be just a bit of fun. This concerns your parents, so they should be ones dealing with it, Barry said, glancing at his mother. Your mother will catch your father in lies, adultery, betrayal, whatever you call it, if she wants to. You should speak to your father, thought Mike insisted. We asked him to feed Jerry, and he ought to do that first before he gets up to other things, he grinned. You are impossible, Anna shocked her curls reproachfully and then, relaxing a bit, tousled Mike's hair. A vague smile emerged on her face, but her eyes looked troubled. I don't think it's a good idea to call your mother, said Caroline. Helen suddenly stood up and asked coolly, Can we go on with the presentation? No one objected, and few voices called out yes or sure. The quiet American lady took a step forward, drew in a breath, and began a fluent narrative about her two-bedroom apartment in Vale, nestled among the Rocky Mountains. Gerald Ford came to Vale, and the hotel he stayed in is known as Western White House. And astronaut John Glenn and musician James Hetfield from Metallica both live in Vale. And you can visit the Betty Ford Alpine Gardens, the world's highest botanic gardens. As Helen went on, the New Zealanders took their seats, and Caroline leaned in towards them and Roger overheard her whispering in an irritative voice. I was born in Vale. That apartment was the first our family owned, and that's where I caught my father with another woman. I told my mom, and I'm still not sure I made the right decision. She filed for divorce, and soon after that she fell ill. If only I had kept it to myself, everything may have turned out differently. The apartment is mostly available, except when my daughter's family go there for skiing. I'm sure that you sweeties, Helen turned to look to Maria and Roger, will enjoy it there most, she concluded with a flourish. This was followed by a burst of applause initiated by Barry. This is our best option, Roger mumbled to Maria. No doubt, one of us should go to Whangarei and other to Vale. By the way, I love skiing. What do you think? Maria nodded, replying quietly that she would like to see the Maine Coon in person, although they ought to hear out the others to be polite. And who knows, some other hungry animal might show up too.